welcome back to the Secret Turnabout. Sorry for the last episode ending abruptly. I just had to stop recording at that point because something was happening a bit earlier than I thought it would. But yeah, today we're going to continue the conversation with the judge. We're going to ask him about the larceny trial, which is the trial we played in Act 1. Can you give me some more details about the larceny trial, Your Honor?
I think I was supposed to have nodded there, but, sometimes shit can get fucked. I'll try my best to keep it to what's relevant. The man on trial was a well-known prosecutor. He had been accused of stealing files from the chief prosecutor's office.
He stole from Mr. Edgeworth's office?
The files stolen belonged to a 13-year-old case. Murder. As the details of the case were described, I realized it was a case I had overseen before.
A case you oversaw?
Yes, a truly strange coincidence. However, I did not say anything about it at the time when I realized. Needless to say, this case came up quite a bit during the second day of the trial.
I understand the defense was on the verge of losing the case when the body was found.
Yes, and he was doing so well too. He had managed to connect the crime to commission done by Vera Misham.
Huh? Vera? How is she related?
The commission Miss Misham,
The crimes, kind of.
was presented to the court as an alternative solution. However, in the end, the defense was unable to prove their claim.
Because Aiden Gambit took an unnecessary risk.
Yes, there's a lot of nominative determinism in this universe, isn't there? I was just about to declare the defendant guilty for the crime. And that's when the scream happened.
Where's the defendant for that trial now?
He is still in custody as we speak. His trial is suspended until the current murder case is solved. However, I'm afraid all it's left to do is hand down his verdict when it resumes.
So the defendant for the larceny trial is basically just waiting to be declared guilty?
I believe that's the basic idea of what the trial yesterday was about.
Thank you, Your Honor. I feel like I should take note of everything that I've learned. I just get a bad feeling about that larceny trial overall. I assumed something was going to get added to the court record, but no. We still have to present this as well, I remember that. Your Honor, please take a look at this.
Oh, so you know about the bookcase passage, do you? It's true. All judges' chambers have a secret bookcase passage in case of an emergency.
The defendant entered through this passageway, correct?
Indeed. He didn't have very much of a choice.
He didn't have a choice?
There was no way anyone could have entered the room from the main doors. The doors were locked at the time of the murder. Any way in or out was by using a secret passage.
I see. I didn't just imagine that, did I? His Honor just said something very strange. Sorry, Apollo, but I didn't really notice anything. You're a bit ahead of me on this one.
Is something wrong, Mr. Justice?
This could just be me looking too deep into things. But if I'm right, it could be just a clue I'm looking for. Your Honor! Right now, you just said something very odd.
Whatever do you mean, Mr. Justice?
You said that the only way into the room was through a secret passage. Fairly interesting choice of wording, don't you think?
I don't know what you're talking about.
It's no use trying to hide it, Your Honor. You don't exactly have a good poker face after all.
No!
Ha! That did it.
I've seen you use your talents of perception on others in this very courtroom, Mr. Justice. But I never once thought I'd be the one on the opposite end of it.
I didn't really need to use my bracelet, but believe what you want to believe.
Very well then, Mr. Justice. There shall be no more secrets. This court shall tell you what you want to know. So you want the truth, Mr. Justice? Can you handle the truth?
I do want the truth, Your Honor. However, I think I can already guess what you're going to say.
Indeed, you were always rather bright, Mr. Justice.
Wow, I wasn't expecting that compliment.
The truth is, Mr. Justice, there are in fact 2 secret passageways in my chambers. I have a secret passageway, and I have a super secret passageway that nobody even knows about. I don't even know about it half the time because of my dementia.
Somehow I just knew when I examined the crime scene. I got the feeling something felt out of place. The fireplace? Where is it, Your Honor? Where is the second secret passage?
The second passageway can be activated by finding a button on the fireplace. It leads to an underground library.
But why?
It was originally planned to be opened up as a records room in the 1940s. However, it never came to fruition. Instead, as a Cold War era measure, it was transformed into a safety bunker. Once the Cold War ended, you started to keep secret files in there. Files about highly confidential cases, close trials, high-profile murders. That is why I could not share this information with you.
Underground records room turned into a Cold War bunker, which was then turned back into a secret records room. This could be the clue I needed.
Remember, Mr. Justice, the button to open the entrance on the fireplace.
Okay, got it. Time to go give that fireplace another look.
I believe this ends the cross-examination. I've told you everything I can tell you, Mr. Justice. There are a few other things I'm keeping hidden, but, you know, I just like to keep you guessing.
Oh, okay. Understood, Your Honor. I've learned quite a bit from talking to His Honor. The events that happened that day, the larceny trial, and the fireplace passageway. Still, I don't feel like I've found everything yet. I think I need to go back and search over other areas thoroughly.
Very well, that will be all. Court is adjourned!
Alright, time to get a move on. Well, I'm gonna have to go find that other secret passageway. There are bloodstains right on the edge of the fireplace. Those would be our victim's bloodstains. It seemed like he hit his head on the fireplace post-mortem. Well, that's unfortunate. He was dead, Apollo. It's not like he felt anything. I know, but still. I know I wouldn't want my body desecrated like that. The jury's still out on how exactly the victim hit his head against the fireplace. You mean you don't have any theories at the moment? I never said anything like that. We have theories, just not anything concrete. There's a shred of evidence actually showing how it happened. So it's all just speculation then. In any case, I need to focus. The judge said the second secret passage should be around here somewhere. Right there! I see it! There's some blood seeping into a crevice where the button is. If I could just... Apollo? What did you just do? I told you not to mess anything up. Emma, just look with your own eyes, will you? That can't be. Is that a ladder in there? I think you mean... Wait. We agree. Well, yes, we finally. Actually, Apollo, that's a stepladder. Mr. Wright, just shut up. That can't be. Your eyes don't deceive you, Emma. It's the second secret passage. Unbelievable. It's right there. Right where the judge said it would be. Who knows what awaits us down there? To think, it was right here the entire time. You think the detective would have been known about it before the defense attorney? But hang on. Passageway in the fireplace where the victim hit his head. The button is covered in blood. Seems like our investigation of this place isn't over, Emma. But I don't get it. Why didn't the passageway open when the victim hit his head on the fireplace? My guess is the victim only hit his head on the corner of the fireplace. The actual button was a bit inside the frame.
I suppose.
Well, no use sitting around here, right?
You said it! Seems like there's more for me to do here than just watch over the scene.
I have a feeling what we find in the secret passage could change everything. Time to get to work. Well, I think that's everything I can find in this room. I'll have quite a picture of my investigation here, I think.
Glad I could be of help. So, care to search that old dusty passageway with me?
I don't think I really have a choice, do I? There's no telling what kind of clues we can find down there.
Haha, the mystery awaits.
In any case, I should probably get a move on. Let's go.
Anything to say about the fireplace passage? Judge isn't even in our profiles, unfortunately.
Even though he's a witness. Who'd ever thought there'd be a second secret passageway?
I can't say I expected it myself. You truly have a knack for finding things at the last minute, you know that, Apollo?
Call it a trait of mine.
Something you share with Mr. Wright, you know. He's your mentor, right? So he'd have passed on his techniques to you.
And now you've ruined the moment by calling Mr. Wright my mentor. It's actually Christoph Gavin who was my mentor. But that's even more awkward, so... yeah. I would rather say I'm self-taught. Acting to that clue you gave me, Your Honor.
You mean about the secret passage in the fireplace, correct? Did you find it useful at all?
I'm not too sure yet. But I can't rule out this possibility right now.
Well then, here's to hoping this helps you find the truth in tomorrow's trial, Mr. Justice. May the goddess of justice do her due diligence.
That's something we could both agree on, Your Honor.
Now, what if we examine this now? So it's crazy how you managed to find that secret passage, right? Maybe you should be the detective and I should be the attorney.
I thought you wanted to go into forensics.
Meh, I'll take anything over working with the FOP again.
Be thankful I go tattling on you to your boss, Emma.
I do think he'd care.
He just doesn't care about what other people think of him. Underground Library. January 17th. Location? Question mark, question mark, question mark.
Ah! Apollo! Stop pushing!
Emma, ow! Your foot is on my face.
Well, move faster then. Stop being a slowpoke.
Oh, Emma, stop. I'm slipping.
Ah! Apollo!
Ow.
Apollo, are you okay?
Yeah, no thanks to you.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to make you fall.
Ugh. I'll be fine. I didn't fall too far. Now then, where exactly are we?
Beats me. I only followed you down here. This is part of the courthouse I'm not familiar with.
The judge mentioned something about an underground library. Could this really be the place he was referring to?
Just look at all the stuff that's been right under our feet this entire time. Can you smell it, Apollo? It's a treasure trove of evidence down here.
Oh, the only thing I can smell is all the built up dust.
You're such a wimp, Apollo.
You pushed me off a ladder.
Well, as I said, I was instructed to be as unobtrusive as possible. The stage is all yours.
Right. Gotta see what I can find around here. There's some confidential files I just would kind of like to steal, you know.
What if I present evidence to thin air in here?
Ah. No unique dialogue for that. No, nothing to talk about. Just examining. What in the world is this?
It's a blanket, Apollo. Use your eyes.
You know what I mean, Emma. What is it doing here?
There's a pair of clothes too, and
are those doggy droppings? The snackoos, Apollo. Oh, that makes more sense. That makes much more sense. Don't let me catch you making that mistake ever again, understood? Note to self, don't make fun of them snackoos. Still, why all this is down here is a mystery. Kinda seems like something was camping out down here. You mean someone was living in the underground of the courthouse all along? Don't be silly, Emma. I don't think the courthouse has a secret underground gremlin. Still, all these provisions have to be here for a reason. What is that reason? Clothes and snacks found lying around in the underground library. Who left them there is unknown. I'm just gonna get a closer look at this. Yeah. Is that like a spear next to it? What the? Find something, Apollo? It's a metal pole? Strange. How would something like that be down here? I don't know, but I think we should check it out. Be careful, Apollo. You don't want to go messing around with dangerous weapons. The murder weapon wasn't a pole. I think we're Hey, stop poking my bag with it! Sorry, I didn't mean to. It just kind of happened. I told you to get it off. I'm trying. I'm pulling as hard as I can. Ugh. Ah, help! My badge is stuck! Apollo, hold still! Apollo cannot catch a break. You didn't have to throw me to the ground. What even happened anyways? Where did Paul go flying out of control? I wonder, Emma, do you have anything metal in your bag? I'm a detective, Apollo. It's pretty much required of me. That settles it. This pole is magnetic. A magnetic pole? Down here? I'm as surprised as you are, Emma. What's it doing down here, I wonder? Strange pole with some sort of magnetism found in the underground library. Oh man, you better not have ruined any of my electronics, Apollo. Well, I think that's everything I need from down here. I don't know how I would know that if I only examined, like, the corner of the room. It's not a whole lot, but the fact that I found evidence that someone was down here is big. What this actually means, however, I have no idea. In any case, I think this wraps up my investigation at the courthouse. Maybe I should go and see Judge Erie at the detention center. Time to get a move on. I'd rather keep taking a look at stuff. Look at all these shelves. If we went out of our way to comb through them all, it could take forever to find any clues. It doesn't look like anything from down here is particularly well organized either. Files or books just seem to be placed in random shelves, probably a complete random. I think Melville Dewey is rolling around in the grave right now. Dewey Decimal System? So there's some far shelves and near shelves. Is that all that's left? Just some shelves? There's some shelves on high too. Magnetic pole. Nothing? I think all we've got left to do is the detention center now. Come on, sir. What's the harm in it? Huh? Who is that voice? Oh, this guy. The Gambit law firm comes with a not guilty verdict guarantee. And something tells me you need that right now, sir. Seems like someone is already here. Bah. Your not guilty guarantee doesn't really count for much, does it? Not after that shameful performance you did for Steel. Is that Hercule Eerie? He's so big. Hey, Payne just got lucky, okay? Besides, that guy was using dirty tricks. They'd have to be to defeat Aiden Gambit. So that's Aiden Gambit, huh? Bah! Are you deaf? I already have an attorney to represent me. Get lost. Hey, I know our conversation is very riveting and all, but don't you think it's wrong to eavesdrop? He can see me? Hey, it's okay, I understand. You're the greenhorn. I don't think that's supposed to have any on here. They hide instead of me, right? Hey, you're not very old yourself, buddy. 22. So Apollo's older than him at this point. Well, a year older, I think. So what's your name? You got one, right? I'm Apollo Justice. Justice, huh? You mean the guy who works at that talent agency? Oh, you've heard of me? So, let me get this straight. Instead of hiring a talented lawyer like myself, you decided to hire someone to do some magic tricks? Hey, what the hell? Just who does this guy think he is? Enough, Gambit. No. Enough, Gambit! I've already given you me answer. Now, if you don't mind, I'd like to speak with me attorney. Hey, it's fine. I know when I'm not welcome. Just don't come crying to me when the magician bungles up his tricks, alright? Don't come crying to me if you ever get in trouble. If you ever get in trouble, big head. Alright, peace. Sorry about that. That man wouldn't leave me alone all day. It's alright, he's gone now. So, you're Judge Eerie, I presume. That's right. Hercule Eerie in the flesh. It's an honor to finally meet you, Mr. Justice. No, the pleasure's all mine, Your Honor. Oh, no need to be so formal with me right now, Mr. Justice. I'm not Your Honor right now. I'm simply a client in need. You know, this guy doesn't seem so bad. Maybe Emma was wrong about him. Now then, we can get to the matter at hand. The matter at hand? The murder! I know who did it! You do? Is he gonna say the spirit of seething? It was. Who was it? It was the ghost! I know it was! What? Don't mess with me, Mr. Justice. Surely you know what I'm talking about. It was the ghost that haunts the halls of our courthouse. Never mind, I take it back. This guy's a loon. I've always thought attorneys' badges looked a bit like flying saucers. An interesting Rorschach test, to be sure. Oh no! What? What is it? You don't think that aliens have taken over our courts by pretending to be lawyers, do you? Somehow, I think we're safe on that one. It really is hard to believe, isn't it? I always knew about the rumours surrounding old Corey, but I never wished any ill will on him. You have to believe me on that, Mr. Justice. You have to. It's your fucking job, isn't it? I would never kill anyone, I swear. Jeez, this really is affecting him, huh? Sir, could you please take a look at this? What are you doing? What? You can't just show things off like that, willy-nilly. It could summon him. Who? What? Who's him? The insidious ghost that disguises himself as evidence? Carpal Funkankle. Running joke in the Ace Attorney community. I'm relatively certain I know where it started, but I won't say here. You can find out on your own. Is it already too late to back out of this? Sir, could you take a look at this? Ah, what the hell do you think you're doing, lad? What do you know about a magnetic pole? Ah, get that fucking thing away from me. But unlike all the other things this guy's been talking about, Carpal Funkankle is definitely real. Alright, who's our top suspect so far? Aiden Gambit? I don't know. I still think he is the son who ran away. That's Aiden Gambit. What do you... That's my fault. I'm a bit too click happy right now. That's Aiden Gambit. What do you think about him, Judge Erie? Well, I've never actually had him in my courtroom before. That said, I did not appreciate his constant insistence to be my lawyer before you arrived. I kept telling him I already had a lawyer, yet he refused to budge on this point. That is quite odd. Do you see why? Something about come practice or something? Now, it's apparently common for attorneys around here to solve crimes he discovered. I'm pretty sure that's when you come with Mr. Wright and me. It's really strange though. By all accounts, Gambit should really not be sticking his nose into our courts. Huh? Can you explain what you mean by that? Gambit isn't from this jurisdiction. He shouldn't be taking cases here. Interesting. I should probably ask more about the same Gambit guy. I guess I should have known that would trigger that dialogue. The defendant, a judge known for irrational belief in the supernatural. Teeters between being intimidated and frightened. Intimidating and frightened. His frilly cravat makes a strong fashion statement. Don't know who the chief prosecutor is, really. Well, let's ask what happened. Actually, let's examine this stuff while he's in here. I think that's the same. So, Mr. Erie, what exactly happened that day? What were you doing at the time of the murder? Well, as it happens, I was in the office at the time of the murder. Really? You didn't have any trials to preside over? Pa, what'd you take me for, a slacker? You had a trial that day, but it was over in a flash. That was the easiest guilty verdict in my life, I tell you what. Huh? How's it over so quick? It's simple. The defense attorney for the case was a no-show. He didn't show up? Yeah, everyone was confused why he suddenly vanished that day. It was only later that we found out why that was. Wait, you don't mean... That's right, Mr. Justice. The attorney assigned to the case was Cordy Rupture. Unbelievable. The victim was supposed to be part of the trial. In any case, with the trial over with quickly, I returned to my chambers. I decided to fill out the paperwork related to that day's guilty verdict. And suddenly I heard a loud thump coming from next door. A loud thump? So I decided to check in on these chambers, and that's when you found the body. So Cordy Rupture was already dead when Judge Erie entered the room. I'll admit I was frightened upon seeing the body. I ended up screaming as loud as I could. Screaming?
The trial went on until around 12:50 p.m. and it seemed like things were wrapping up. When suddenly a loud scream pierced through the courtroom. I was far too caught up in the heat of the moment to try and remember who it was that the voice belonged to. I remember it was very high-pitched.
It was you who made that high-pitched scream? Yeah, that's why it's so embarrassing. My voice might be deep and burly usually, but when I'm frightened I scream like a girl. In any case, my scream then brought the attention of the trial Judge Udgy was overseeing. That's when the chief prosecutor, some loser with a bald head, Gambit and Udgy walked in. So, Mr. Gambit was one of those who found Judge Airy standing over the body. Yeah, he still wants to defend him. Seems a bit odd. Maybe I can get Judge Airy to say more about him somehow. You have to believe me, Mr. Justice. There's no way I could kill anyone, especially not in Udgy's chambers. Murder's already despicable, but in the chambers of my good friend. So, you and he are close. Udgy is really the only one who takes me seriously anymore. Everyone else keeps pointing and laughing at me because I believe in the supernatural. To be fair, it's also because you're extremely paranoid. There's no way I would ever betray Udgy's trust like that. That's why you have to believe in my innocence, Mr. Justice, please. I believe you, sir. Emma's right when she says this guy is off his rocker, but that doesn't make him a murderer. Thank you, Mr. Justice. I promise your trust in me won't be a waste. And here's to hoping your trust in me won't be one either. Ghosts? So, you think a ghost committed this murder? I don't just think so, I know so. There was supposedly some kid who died after testifying about his dead parents a while back. It was a trial Cordy Rupture was caught up in. The ghost wanted revenge, I tell ya. Right, sir, I don't know how to break this to you, but ghosts aren't real. No, that's not true. I have proof that ghosts exist. This should be good. I'm sure you've heard, but a while back there was this lawyer named Phoenix Wright. Mr. Wright? Why is that name coming up now? See, he was in a case a while back where he was defending his acolyte. His case was based around the idea that a ghost came back from the dead, and the ghost tried to kill his assistant. Wait a minute, is he talking about the famous State vs. Iris case? It was incredible. Everyone in the courtroom thought he had gone insane. But then everyone saw the ghost with their own eyes. You need only read up on the case to see that ghosts are real. Sir, that's still not proof of ghosts. And people call me crazy. How can you deny the truth when the evidence is right in front of you? Because you seem to have conflated ghosts with spirits. What are you saying? There's no difference. Sir, I've lived in Kurain myself a long time ago. I know what I'm talking about. Spirits can't just wander around and do stuff on their own. They need a medium to channel them before they can interact with our world. There's a big difference between spirit channeling and poltergeists. So this guy who... You both believe in the supernatural, but he believes in more of the supernatural than you. Right. There's a big difference between spirit channeling and poltergeists. The main difference being that one of those things are real. Then how do you explain what happened? Udgy's chambers were locked at the time of the murder. There was no way for the killer or victim to enter the room. The ghost must have phased the body through the wall. It's the only explanation. Judge Airy, calm down. You're scaring the guard. I'm sure there's a perfectly logical explanation for what happened. Though, what that explanation is, I have no clue. And here I was considering having a lunch meeting with you. I suppose that'll have to be rescheduled now. I would have said no anyways. Who exactly is Aiden Gambit? Why is he taking cases from outside his jurisdiction? Gambit is a pretty well known in the city up north. He's gathered something of a following for dealing with some high profile cases. There's tons of corruption wherever you look. Big name people causing big name trouble. I'm all for stripping these people of their power, believe me. From what I've seen, taking on so many people has given Gambit a big head. Do you think this has something to do with why he's chosen to litigate cases here? Could be. The Giant Slayer needs giants to slay after all. Even so, I don't like outside actors influencing our courts. For once, I think we're in agreement. Not helping his big head is that fan base of his. I've seen a prosecutor with a fan base before, but it was because he was a rock star. Well, Gambit doesn't really do anything like that. He mostly just keeps to doing law, no side gigs as far as I know. For some reason though, he still has groupies that watch him in every trial. You can look like us of an old man as you say that. Still, I have to admit, I'm confused about that too. Is it the hair? It's probably the hair. I tell you though, there's definitely more wrong with Gambit than that. What do you mean? The guy's been acting strange, like me refusing his request was something of a big deal. It's like he's planning something. That's what it feels like. I have to admit, I kind of got the feeling something was up with Gambit as well. He seemed to have a lot of animosity towards me for taking this case. Are we just imagining things? Or is he really up to something? Who are you really in Gambit? I think that's all I wanted to ask. Well, what I think is that he is the son. But we'll have to see on that one. I'm glad I could be of help, Mr. Justice. I think at least this brings my investigation to a close. Mr. Justice, we do have a chance in court tomorrow, right? I'm not a prophet, Judge Erie. I can't claim to know what tomorrow will bring, but I do know this. No matter what happens tomorrow, I won't give up on you. Very well. I'll put my life in your hands, Mr. Justice. I really don't believe Judge Erie killed anybody. I know how all the clues I found pieced together. The second secret passage, the magnetic pole, the sign someone was in the library. All these things connect. It's just a matter of figuring out how. This brought Apollo's investigation to a close. Not a single person involved with the case got a good night's rest that evening. And Apollo, or Edgeworth, not even me. While Apollo and Edgeworth were going over their cases in their heads, I was busy hoping and praying that this would finally be the case. A case that would get the world to see the merits of the jury system. Then, finally, the big day came. The day of reckoning. So it's January 18th, 8:49 AM, District Court, Defendant Lobby number 4. I don't think I've been distressed about a trial since... Well, not since I first defended Mr. Wright in court. The fact that there's so much riding on today's trial, it really doesn't put me at ease. That's what my client is less stressed than I am right now. Well, so much for that. Mr. Justice! Please tell me I don't look like I'm the killer right now. I don't want to go to jail because I seem too suspicious. Well, I suppose you could sound something less like a kid with his hand in a cookie jar. I know it. I'm doomed. Wait till you look calm by comparison. Just take deep breaths, Judge Erie. If you want, I have a bit of a trick to staying calm. A trick? A ghost trick, you say? Are you a ghost, man? Anytime you're nervous, just shout a simple phrase. I'm Hercule Leary and I'm fine. Can you do that for me? I guess I can try. I'm Hercule Leary and I'm fine. Hey, I think that actually worked. Chords of Steel win again. Actually, now that I'm feeling better, I just remembered something. What is it? I have an idea as how we can get me off the hook. You said that spirit mediums are real, right? We can just call a spirit medium to the stand and have them summon the victim's spirit. Well, what's the matter? Well, first of all, we don't even know if the presiding judge believes in spirits. Trucy? Oh, Trucy, what? Why are you stealing my lines? You're not even supposed to be here. This is a secret trial. A secret turnabout, if you will. Plus, I doubt there's enough time before court starts to get a spirit medium ready. Bah! Always excuses with you! Sorry, sir. I just think we'll have to do this the old-fashioned way. Ugh. And here I was hoping that things would be easy. You and me both. Say, Jujiri, you haven't seen Mr. Wright around, have you? Not that I can recall. Why? I was just hoping I could ask him a bit more about what I could expect from this trial. Specifically about the new changes made to the jury system. And it's a real shame we haven't seen him. Where are you, Mr. Wright? Oh no! You don't think that the ghost got to him first, did you? Judge Airy, we've been over this already. There are no such things as ghosts, and there certainly aren't any haunting the courthouse. Are you sure about that, Apollo? The ghost! Oh, great. Boo! Never change, Judge Airy. I'd really appreciate it if you wouldn't got your way to make my client fate, Mr. Wright. I make no promises. Of course not. So, I understand you want to talk to me? Have you been eavesdropping on our conversation the entire time? I plead the fifth. Mr. Wright. So, you want to know more about how the new jury system works, huh? I feel it would help a bit. Well, I can't go over everything because my time is limited. They'll be expecting me in the jury room fairly shortly to lead the proceedings. Can you at least give me the basics? Well, as I said yesterday, the jurors can now share their thoughts with the court. It's actually a system based off some of the juries from long time past. However, back in those days, juries could just interrupt trials at their leisure. As you can imagine, it got pretty chaotic. So, how did you fix that problem? Well, it's actually pretty simple. Now, juries are only allowed to give their thoughts when they're specifically asked for it. That way it doesn't just turn into pure chaos every 5 seconds. So I can poll the jury during cross-examinations. Of course, you'll need to know what the jurors' expertise are. So, I'm taking the liberty of compiling some basic information about the jurists for you. Nothing personal, mind you, just enough that you can know what they're like. Thanks, I'll read it through when I can. Oh, just one last thing. Huh? What? If you reach a point where you're stuck and can't move forward, that will be that. The trial will have to move to an immediate verdict. Do you mean if I can't keep the trial going until I reach the truth, it's all over? Not necessarily. What do you mean? As I said, I don't have the time to explain everything now. But you'll see if it comes up. How many secrets are you going to keep from me, Mr. Wright? How many secrets are in this turnabout? Also, I'd avoid using your special power, if you could. You can end up giving the jurors a bad impression of you to rely on tells instead of evidence. So, no tell spotting, got it. Anywho, I better get going. Good luck, Apollo. You're gonna need it. What happens in there next is it all up to how well I can get the jurors to see my side. Judge Airy isn't a murderer, I know he isn't. Now, so in the jury is here. Age 49 female, an orphanage worker from a city up north, is constantly worried about the safety of children. 35, juror number 2, a cynical journalist who has seen multiple trials, often easily irritable and quickly jumps to conclusions. Juror 3, a supposedly famous actor who's a bit of a fitness buff, wants to hide his face for some reason. Juror 4, a courthouse clerk and mega fangirl of Aiden Gambit with a not so secret crush on him, always attends his trial. So she is probably someone who was in that first trial. Well, definitely according to this, unless she's 19 years old. Age 21, Juror 5, enthusiastic mystery buff who fancies himself a private detective, holds many lawyers in high regards. Fancies herself, sorry, I misread that. Age 62, male, a paranormal investigator that was sitting in on Manny Steele's trial to verify claims of ghosts. Funny that we had a paranormal investigator in the trial where the defendant believes in the supernatural. I think he's going to be easy enough to convince of that fact. Unless he's more skeptical paranormal investigator, he's like willing to disprove all his claims. But I think like to be a paranormal investigator, you have to think there's a chance paranormal can exist at least, you know. Otherwise, why would you be looking for it? I just have to make them see it. Although I don't expect the chief prosecutor will go easy on me in there. I have no idea how the trial is going to turn out. Only a growing sense of unease about what's around the corner. January 18th, 9:01 AM, District Court, Code number 4. Hey, this is the same trial starts music that was used in Turnabout and the Lighthouse Lunacy. And nostalgic. Well, nostalgia for like a few months ago.
Court is now in session for the trial of Hercule Leary.
And the prosecution is ready, Your Honor. The defense is ready, Your Honor. So this is the legendary Miles Edgeworth. He certainly does give off an aura of sternness and intimidation. And this judge is for the brother I heard His Honor talk about yesterday. I can definitely see the resemblance between the two, that's for sure. Yep, this judge looks a fair bit stricter than his brother. It should certainly prove to be an interesting trial.
As I'm sure you all know, today's proceedings are to be held in a closed trial. There are some of you who may be wondering what the reasons for this decision are.
Now, I know this guy has like this stereotypical Canadian accent, but I don't know how well I can do that.
There are some of you who may be wondering what the reasons for this decision are. However, I think I can assure you that there's a good reason. The defendant being a member of the judiciary, we wish to minimize the risk of any outside actors with unscrupulous agendas having a part in today's trial. Today's proceedings have two specific goals. Our first goal is to find the truth behind the murder of Corey Rupture, and our second goal is to hold one final test for the new justice system before it can officially be implemented statewide. Now, if I'm not mistaken, I believe the jury is watching this trial remotely, correct?
That's correct, Your Honor. The jury's giving you loud and clear, right, guys? So first we have orphanage work, so an older lady. I am ready to do my due diligence for the children, Your Honor. Yeah, I'm here. Don't get too excited.
Juror 3, here, sir.
Juror 4 ready. Oh, I've already Aiden with here instead of that loser with the weird hair. Hey. Juror 5 reporting. I'm ready to solve the mystery.
The sixth juror, which would be me, is also ready.
I hope we get to see these guys at some point, like their faces. But I mean, it is. I assume at least one of these guys is gonna be involved in some way. Well, that's just they don't have to be, I guess, but they are going to provide some expertise. at least. They're all going to have one bit that's relevant.
Very well. Before we move on to opening statements, I'd like to address the jury. First and foremost, I must thank each of you in advance for your time. It is a great responsibility that has been thrust upon you today. Despite not being members of the judiciary, you have been allowed to view this closed trial, to decide the fate of one of our own. As members of the public, you should have already signed a non-disclosure agreement, meaning you will not be allowed to talk about this trial to anyone not involved in the proceedings. Any breach of this agreement is a prosecutable offence. While you are doing our court a great favour, be advised this is not a position to take lightly. Heed my words of wisdom, kind jurors. Judge rightly, judge well. Now then, I believe that is all I have to say. The prosecution may now give its opening statement.
Right away, Your Honor. Here it comes, Apollo. Get ready. Let's see if Miles Edgeworth really is as good as they say.
On January 16th, Corey Rupture was planned to make an appearance in court. The man we meant to defend has been... The man we was meant to defend...
Wait, you're not a defense attorney, Edgeworth.
I could have been. The man we was meant to defend has been accused
of embezzlement a few days prior. An embezzlement trial? Is that the one Judge Airy presided over?
The details of this trial aren't entirely important to the matter at hand. What is important are the two specific factors. Firstly, the defendant, Hercule Airy, was the presiding judge. Secondly, that the victim, Corey Rupture, did not show up to the trial.
Just one question, Mr. Edgeworth. If the victim did not show up to the embezzlement trial that day, isn't it possible that he was already dead by that time? I don't know.
If only it were as simple as that for your case, Mr. Justice.
What do you mean?
First, the court to take a look at the Corey Rupture's autopsy report. It states that the victim was killed at some time between 12:30 to 12:50 p.m. That it does, Mr. Edgeworth. I assume that there is something about this that contradicts the defense's claims.
Sorry, I think the best we can do is throw in some random aboots in there.
I don't know about that.
Because again, I don't really... I could do a South Park Canadian accent. Hey, buddy! But it doesn't really fit as well with the old man voice.
Hey, buddy!
No, it doesn't really work. I think I'm going to stick to a judge voice for Judge's brother.
Indeed there is, Your Honour. Judge Airy convened the embezzlement trial at 12:15 p.m. It waited 10 minutes for the victim to show up before a verdict was declared. 10 whole minutes? I must say, Judge Airy is far more forgiving about that than I would be. I would have adjourned the trial the moment I saw the counsel did not show up.
Note to self, don't be late for a trial. Ever.
What's important is the time, Your Honour. Record the trial started at 12:15. As soon as the trial was adjourned at 12:25 p.m.
12:25 p.m. Wait, that's
a good 5 minutes before the time listed on the autopsy report. And keep in mind that there's the earliest possible point at which Corey Rupture died. In short, it is impossible for Corey Rupture to have been killed whilst the trial was in session, but not impossible for him to have been trapped somewhere or doing something else and then get killed afterwards.
Damn it, there goes my main argument.
The prosecution's beliefs are as follows. At some point between 12:25 and 12:50, the defendant met with the victim that day. They had him come to his chambers to discuss why he did not show up to the trial.
At some point, the discussion became heated between the two men. The altercation did not take long to turn to violence. Caught up in the heat of the moment, the defendant ended up killing co-eruption. This is what the prosecution aims to prove during the course of this trial. I don't think judges are allowed to meet with just the defense attorney. I think they also have to meet. They have to meet with both counsel at the same time. So, but again, this is Ace Attorney, so they can do whatever the hell they want. The whacked laws.
We see, the prosecution's case is resoundingly clear. Does the defense have any claims or rebuttals to make?
My case is already off to a bad start. Keep it cool, Justice. I just have to stick to my guns. Your Honor, the defense claims that a third party is responsible for the crime. We have to prove evidence of this third party and how it eluded us. Just what I expect from his apprentice. Sorry, I just had to yawn for a bit there because you are literally boring me so much, Mr. Justice. But actually, no, I look forward to seeing what you've been taught, Apollo Justice. I hope that you don't disappoint me. I won't.
Very well then, Mr. Edgeworth. You may now call your first witness to the stand.
Is it going to be Emma Sky? Certainly, Your Honor. You know what? It's a lot like they typically do the detective as the first witness or anything. Witness, please state your name and occupation. Emma Sky, detective. And one of these days, a forensic investigator. Your enthusiasm is appreciated, Miss Sky. However, I'll prefer if you would stick to the relevant information for today. Oh, yes, sir! Rest assured, however, if your testimony is satisfactory today, I'll be happy to put in a word to the Chief of Police regarding a change in position. Yes, sir, of course. Thank you, Mr. Edgeworth. I don't think I've ever seen Emma's face light up so fast. Now then, Detective Sky, you were in charge of the investigation, correct? That's right, sir. Would you mind sharing the results of the investigation to the court? Right away, Mr. Edgeworth. Emma can barely hold herself together. It's like she's been told she won the lottery. Detective findings. The evidence in this case paints a pretty clear picture of what happened. The bruising on the victim shows that two of them got into a scuffle, though it was one-sided at best. At some point in their altercation, the defendant used a rope tied like a noose on the defendant. The marks on the neck prove that the killer tried to strangle the victim. The victim was taken to the neighbouring chamber to frame it as the apparent crime scene. For some reason, the defendant screamed loudly, attracting the attention of the courtroom number 3. Those in the courtroom rushed to find the defendant standing over the victim's body.
I see. The case presented by the detective's findings is very solid indeed.
As this guy has made clear, there's only one logical conclusion to draw. The only one who could have killed the victim is the defendant, Hercule Erie.
That does seem to be what the evidence is pointing towards.
It really is lucky that my brother had an alibi at the time of the murder.
I would hate to have seen him be in the defendant's chair. In any case, the defense may begin their cross-examination.
I noticed something odd about Emma's testimony. Something in her testimony that just doesn't line up with the evidence. I mean, the thing I'm thinking of is, why would he scream and draw all their attentions? You know, it doesn't really make sense. They're just going to say he's mad. But if I noticed it, I'm willing to bet Edgeworth noticed it too. I feel like pointing it out would be walking right into a trap. I didn't notice it, but I wasn't really paying that much attention. I'm waiting to cross-examine before I do that. Can't really see any other way around it. That's the perfect place to leave off. Then, so next time we'll get into this cross-examination. We'll probably do some cool stuff with the jury, and we'll see if we can find the truth. But you know, we probably won't, given the way story's been framed so far. So yeah, thanks for watching. We'll see you next week for another Secret Turnabout.